Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Wes. So finally we are reviewing Kaiju number 8, chapter 109. Now, this chapter is interesting because it doesn't feel like its own chapter. It honestly just feels like an extension of chapter 108. Almost like chapter 108 was supposed to be an extra page chapter because it was this huge, massive development in the story where the relationship between Kafka and Mina comes to a head. And somehow Matsumoto ran out of time and split some chapters off, because if you notice, even the page count for chapter 109 is a bit smaller than average. Anyway, yeah, that's just my assumption. But let's talk about that plot. So the chapter starts with another flashback of Kafka and Mina as children, as they both fantasize over their shared dream of joining the defense force and becoming their own ideal version of an officer. Kafka hilariously just wants to be the MC with his stats maxed out at 999. Like, literally, he wants the power suit, he wants the 99% release force bragging rights, he wants the high kill count, he wants to be a blade master and the strongest sharpshooter on the force. I found that to be ironic because he's trained by arguably the Blade Master himself, and he's also best friends with arguably the quintessential sharpshooter herself. To which Mina trolls him and states that her goal is to just save as many lives as possible, whether it be fellow officers, civilians, or pet animals. Rest in peace, Miko, you will be forever missed. Mina's desire is to be so powerful on the battlefield that she can end any and all conflict before anyone can die, to which Kafka, at the time, jokingly says is unrealistic. The general idea of this chapter is that both of these characters managed to essentially accomplish their goal of standing at each other's side when they needed the other the most. But the twist is that the journeys that they have taken to get there are completely different from what they envisioned for themselves. Their shared dream didn't turn out 100% like they expected. Kafka is a cobbled together version of the man that he wanted to become ever since he was a child. He doesn't have the cool suit. In fact, he almost got made into one himself. He doesn't have much release force to speak of. In fact, it's hilariously low compared to just about everyone in history. He's neither a blade master or a sharpshooter like he expected either. However, Kafka has managed to embody elements of his dream in a much different way. No cool suit, but he can transform into a humanoid kaiju. Release force is utter trash, but has the highest fortitude level for a kaiju in history. He doesn't have a high kill count because he can't remain in kaiju form for extended periods, but he can take on the strongest kaiju in the verse single-handedly. He didn't become a master swordsman or the most skilled sharpshooter, but he is arguably the strongest hand-to-hand combat fighter in the defense force by far. He didn't achieve popularity, but instead he is infamous for being the 9.8 kaiju, and it's still unknown how society will treat him once this ordeal with Kaiju 9 is over. For all we know, he could be hated and feared, so I hope not, but we'll see. Mina Ashiro is no different in this regard either. She is one of, if not the strongest officer standing at the apex of power in the defense force, and with all of that strength, she wasn't able to be the perfect embodiment of her ideal self. This fact clearly weighs on her mind, since we see her inner thoughts of the piles and piles of corpses belonging to her allies that she never managed to protect. The overall lesson is pretty great. Even if someone should put their very blood, sweat, and tears into pursuing their dreams or whatever purpose they feel they may have, doesn't necessarily mean that you will reach your goal. And if you do, 99.9% of the time, it will not be as you envisioned for yourself either. Both Kafka and Mina, however, didn't give up. And even though it's not perfectly one-to-one, as a result of their perseverance, they were able to reach their goals in essence and spirit. In the end, Mina finally got what she wanted. Kafka is right there to support her. Kafka finally managed to catch up to Mina and is worried about his promise to her. I don't necessarily know if I like the line, "All I've got left is this promise." If this was written by Gege Akutami, then Kafka basically just killed off Mina right there. Luckily for her, this isn't Gege, so we'll see what Matsumoto does with that. I'd imagine the two of them will need to have a long overdue discussion after this. Mina still has this hidden emotional over-reliance on Kafka that is her character flaw, and I assume will be resolved in the future. I feel like Matsumoto is the kind of writer that will get rid of or only kill off a character if they can no longer be used as a vehicle to explore further plot elements. So I don't think characters like Kikoru will be killed off because we still need her to explore what happened with Hikari and how the process of linking with her late mother's psyche even works, and what potential side effects could come from that. Iharu is still needed to explore what being a flash adapter even means. And why is there only 3 in recorded history? One flash adapter is Captain Ogata, but who is the third? Is this individual alive? Are they good? Are they bad? Etc. Reno is the user of Kaiju No. 6, who is the former king of Kaiju, and is also the monster that killed Hikari Shinomiya, who has been hyped up to no end by Matsumoto. There's going to be more to that story, so Reno will be used to explore that plot thread as well. Even characters like Aoi and Haruichi, well, to a much lesser extent Aoi, but even Haruichi has been given more backstory in the anime than he ever has in the manga. Heck, the cover for volume 13 is Haruichi, so that might mean that Matsumoto is going to pay off some of the little hints with Haruichi's family that he's definitely advised the team working on the anime to incorporate into the story. Matsumoto has never been one to get rid of a character for shock value if there's more that that character can offer and be used for. But I will say, if he did decide to get rid of Mina, there is a precedent for it. I don't know what chapter it was, but we all know how Kaiju 9 does, right? When his back is against the wall, when he's cornered and he's about to be killed, he will do anything and everything to escape, even using targets in the environment to divert Kafka's attention. He did it the first time they met, he did it the second time with Kikoru, and one thing that is just stuck in my head with this arc is back when Kafka was fighting the white luminous kaiju, and Kaiju 9 was in the process of assimilating Mina. He told him over the little drone that was viewing what was going on that, hey, you humans can't give anything up, and because of that, you will lose. You humans are always like this. So if Matsumoto wanted to bring that back around towards the end and like put Kafka in a situation where it's like, you let Mina go, kill 9, save the world, you know, I mean, the precedent is there. I don't think he'll do that though. Now, I feel like Kaiju 9 is going to be killed for sure. Before the final result was up in the air for me, because I can tell that the story is going to continue after this arc, but I didn't know whether it was going to involve Kaiju 9 ultimately winning and then escaping the situation again, or if he was going to lose and then we move on to other threats and mysteries below ground. But now I just don't see a way out for him. The pairing of Kafka and Mina has been so hyped up that if they both get slapped up by 9, that would have made all of the build up for this very moment utterly pointless. Matsumoto is going to have to carefully write in such a way to make it appear as though the stakes of them potentially losing is there, but I honestly think 9 gets packed up soon. Kafka will probably use a variant version of Squadron Style No. 6, Thunder Emperor, to end the fight once and for all. All he'll need is for Mina to blast her way into an opening and expose 9's core. I'm excited to see where this story is going to go after this. We know that there's another nation that is paying very close attention to what happens with the kaiju emergences around the globe. We know that this certain nation is interested in experimenting with merging kaiju and human DNA to create something of some sort, which is one of the reasons why the JAKDF didn't go public with Kaiju No. 8 actually being a human-turned kaiju. These things could get out of hand if Kafka's alter ego was ever exposed to the general public. That could be where the plot goes next, or maybe we'll dip into what exactly the samurai ghost was when Kafka visited Ryune's shrine with Hoshina. We've been waiting to see more on that for about 2 years now. Either way, I'm happy that there seems to be more to come from Kaiju number 8, and the anime is popping off. Like, if you weren't watching the Kaiju number 8 anime, man, you are messing up. Anyway, that is the end of the video. Let me know where you think the story could go after this arc in the comments. I've seen a lot of interesting theories out there, and I'm probably most interested in this other nation that is running kaiju/human experimentation. I like the elements that Matsumoto has set up where human DNA seems to be the key to a kaiju's evolution. Anyhow, if you enjoy this content, then like, comment, consider subscribing, and I will catch you wonderful people on the next video. All right, God bless, peace.